Coders, lock in with your cool tech channel. So you want to learn how to code. That's a fantastic decision. It's like gaining a superpower. You can make your computer do things for you. But where do you start? The world of programming can seem huge and intimidating. There are so many languages, each with its own strange symbols and rules. I'm here to tell you that Python is the perfect place to begin your journey. It was designed to be easy to read. In fact, it looks a lot like plain English. This means you can spend less time fighting with confusing syntax and more time actually building cool things. You'll be surprised how quickly you can get a program up and running. Think of learning to code like learning any new skill, such as playing a guitar or cooking. You wouldn't start by trying to play a complex solo or cook a 5-course meal. You'd start with simple chords or a basic recipe. Python is the programming equivalent of learning to make a grilled cheese sandwich. It's straightforward, satisfying, and gives you the confidence to try more complex things later. The commands are intuitive. Print does exactly what you think it does. It prints things to the screen. This simplicity is Python's greatest strength for newcomers. It lets you focus on the logic and concepts of programming, not just memorizing weird punctuation. One of the best things about Python is its massive and supportive community. Whenever you get stuck, and trust me, everyone gets stuck, there are countless people online ready to help. Websites like Stack Overflow, Reddit forums, and countless blogs are filled with answers to nearly every question a beginner could have. Plus, Python comes with a huge collection of pre-written code called modules or libraries. Want to work with web pages, create games, or analyze data? There's a library for that. This means you don't have to build everything from scratch. You can stand on the shoulders of giants and start creating impressive projects sooner than you think. The best way to learn programming is by doing. Reading books and watching tutorials is great, but the knowledge really sticks when you start writing your own code. You need to get your hands dirty. That's where projects come in. They give you a clear goal to work towards. They force you to solve problems and figure things out on your own. This essay is all about giving you some fun, simple project ideas that you can build. Don't worry about making them perfect. The goal is to learn and have fun. So let's dive in and start building. Your coding journey begins now. Our first project is a classic for a reason: the number guessing game. It's simple, fun, and teaches you some of the most fundamental concepts in programming. Here's the idea. The computer will think of a secret number between 1 and 20, and it will ask you to guess what it is. You'll enter a number, the computer will tell you if it's too high or too low, and you keep guessing until you get it right. It's a small program but packed with learning opportunities. You'll feel a real sense of accomplishment when a friend plays what you built. So what skills will you learn? First, you'll learn how to get input from the user. Your program needs to ask for a guess and read the number the player types in. You'll use the input function for this. Next, you'll need to use variables. A variable to store the secret number the computer generates. Another variable to store the player's guess. You'll also learn about loops. A while loop will let your program keep asking for guesses as long as the player hasn't found the secret number. This repetitive action is a core part of many programs. To make this game work, you'll also dive into conditional statements. If else, these are the decision makers of your code. You'll also need to generate a random number, a great intro to importing modules like random. To get started, break the problem down into small steps. First, figure out how to make the computer pick a random number. Then, write the code to ask the player for their guess. After that, write the if statements to compare the guess to the secret number. Finally, wrap it all in a while loop so the game continues. Don't be afraid to print out your variables to see what's happening behind the scenes. This is called debugging, and it's a normal part of programming. You can do this. Your program will use them to check the player's guess. Is the guess lower than the secret number? If so, print your guess is too low. Is the guess higher? If so, print your guess is too high. Or is the guess exactly right? If so, print you got it and end the game. First, figure out how to make the computer pick a random number. Then, write the code to ask the player for their guess. After that, write the if statements to compare the guess to the secret number. Finally, wrap it all in a while loop so the game continues. Don't be afraid to print out your variables to see what's happening behind the scenes. This is called debugging, and it's a normal part of programming. You can do this. Next up is another fantastic beginner project, a simple command line calculator. This program will ask the user for two numbers and an operation to perform, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Then, it will calculate the result and display it on the screen. For example, the user could enter 5, then plus, then 10, and your program would output 15. This project reinforces skills from the number guessing game, like getting user input using conditional statements. It applies them in a slightly different and very practical way. Everyone understands what a calculator does, so the logic is easy to grasp. Building this calculator will solidify your understanding of data types. When you get input with input, Python treats it as a string of text, even if the user types numbers. You can't do math with text, so you'll convert those strings into numbers, either integers, whole numbers, using int, floating point, numbers with decimals, using float. This is a crucial concept you'll use in almost every program. You'll also get practice with if-elif-else statements as you check which operation the user wants. You'll be introduced to the idea of functions. This project is a great opportunity to learn how to define your own functions. You could create a function for each operation. Add a, b, subtract a, b. That makes code cleaner, more organized, and easier to read. Instead of a giant block of if statements, call the appropriate function. Breaking code into small, reusable functions is one of the most important habits to develop. It makes complex problems much easier to solve. Getting started is straightforward. First, write code to get the two numbers and the operator from the user. Remember to convert inputs from strings to integers or floats. Next, use a series of if and elif statements to check the operator. For example, if operator equals plus, inside each if block, perform the calculation and print the result. A great expansion is to add a loop asking if the user wants another calculation. That makes your calculator feel more like a real application. Let's build a game you already know how to play. Rock, paper, scissors. This is a wonderfully fun project that combines several key programming concepts into one small package. Your program will play against a human user. The user will pick rock, paper, scissors. The computer will also make a random choice. Then, your program will compare the two choices and declare a winner based on the classic rules. Rock smashes, scissors, scissors, cuts, paper, paper covers, rock. This project is a step up in complexity from the number guessing game. It involves a bit more logic to determine the winner. This project gives you more practice with the random module. Represent the options in a list. Rock, paper, scissors. Then use Python's random.choice to pick one. You'll also get very comfortable with user input and conditional logic. The core is a set of if-elif-else. What happens if the user picks rock and the computer picks scissors? What if they both pick paper? You'll have to write code to handle every scenario. A key skill you'll develop here is handling user input variations. What if the user types rock or rock? Your program should be smart enough to handle this. You can use string methods like lower to convert the user's input to all lowercase before you compare it. This makes your program more robust and user-friendly. You will also get a feel for structuring nested logic. For example, you might first check if it's a tie. If it's not a tie, you then need another set of if statements to figure out who won. To start, create a list of the possible choices. Then write the code for the computer to randomly select one item from that list. Next, ask the user for their choice. Don't forget to convert their input to lowercase. The main challenge is the logic for determining the winner. You can write this out as a series of if statements. For instance, if user choice equals rock and computer choice equals scissors, print you win. Go through all the winning combinations. A fun extension is to keep score and wrap the whole game in a loop that lets the user play until they decide to quit. So, are you ready to be a storyteller? A text-based adventure game is one of the most creative and rewarding beginner projects. Think of it as a choose-your-own adventure book, but happening in your computer's terminal. Example: you are in a dark room. There is a door to the north. There is a chest in the corner. Then it will ask the player what they want to do. Based on their input, like go north or open chest, the story will change and progress. This project teaches you to create an interactive narrative with code. You'll master conditional logic. If else, you'll get practice printing text to the screen. You'll get practice getting input from the user. More importantly, you'll learn program structure and state. Keep track of the player's location. Keep track of items in their inventory. Keep track of whether a door is locked or unlocked. Managing state is fundamental in software development. It's great for learning to organize code with functions. Create a function for each room or location. Dark_room function, hallway function. Modular code is easier to manage, debug, and expand. Start with 2 rooms or 3 rooms and add more later. Map out a simple story on paper. 2 rooms. 1 choice. For example, a room with 2 doors. Where does each door lead? Write a function for your starting room. Inside it, print the room description. Create a loop that waits for player input. Use if/elif/else statements to check what the player typed. If they type a valid command, have the program respond accordingly, maybe by calling another room's function. Don't worry about complexity. Just get a simple story working where you can move between rooms. In today's world, having strong, unique passwords is more important than ever. But honestly, thinking of them is a pain. So let's write a program to do it for us. A password generator is an excellent and practical project. The program will ask how long the password should be. It will also ask which character types to include: lowercase letters, uppercase letters, numbers, symbols. Then it will randomly generate a password that meets those criteria and print it. This tiny utility is genuinely useful. This project teaches Python's random module. You'll go beyond picking a single item. Learn random.choice, learn random.shuffle, practice working with strings, practice working with lists, create pools of possible characters, then combine them to build the password. Sometimes you just need to roll some dice. Maybe you're playing a board game and lost the dice. Or you're a game master for a role-playing game. Let's build a program to solve this problem. Let's build something practical. A simple contact book that runs in the terminal. This program will act like a basic address book on your phone. It will allow you to add a new contact, name, phone number, email, view all your existing contacts, search for a specific contact by name, and eventually delete a contact. This project is a significant step up. It introduces you to a dictionary. You'll store collections of related information for each contact, a very realistic programming task. We've explored a whole range of projects, from a simple number guessing game to a more complex contact book. Each one is a stepping stone. Each one teaches you a new piece of the programming puzzle. The journey from writing your first line of code to building a complete application can seem long, but it happens one project at a time. The most important thing you can do right now is to stop reading and start coding. Pick one of these projects, the one that sounds the most fun or the one that sounds the most interesting to you, and just start. You've got this.